I haven't done a video in about a week or so. But I guess this is a topic important enough to come back on here. Alex Jones lost his defamation suit. I understand he had been fined what, 10,000, 100,000, 150,000 or something to put forward evidence. The case is in regards to him calling the families of the Sandy Hook kids, the massacre, that they somehow were, it wasn't a real shooting. The kids aren't really dead. And that was one of the things that made me leave him and stop following him back in the day, was realizing that this guy's gone over the deep end. You know, he did a deposition. There's a deposition tape out there where he actually talked about how some of the stuff he talks about is not real, that it's all an illusion, it's all just entertainment, and that he knows that maybe he goes too far on it. For me, that's it's interesting. It's a little bit depressing to know that this person that I really respected, you know, did that. And he talked about on the deposition that he wasn't just trying to become, you know, like famous off the Newtown thing, off the Sandy Hook thing. He did become famous. He became famous. He became infamous. You know, he became famous in a really nasty and pernicious way in regards to some people's children. There's a gentleman I was looking at on the Surf Times talking about how when Alex Jones said the left has taken over the legal system, well, for that to be true, it would have to be the left suing him, and all the families are not liberal. So that's not true. That's just something you do when you get your ass whooped, and you say, well, if you'd caught me on a Tuesday, if I hadn't just worked out, you know, that's what you do. You're putting forward an agenda to make yourself save face. Alex Jones, to me, is a snake. He's a person that took white supremacist rhetoric and maybe mellowed it out a little bit in some ways. And in years like more recently, we've seen that he hasn't mellowed it out. That you've seen more of the anti-Semitic, homophobic, racist stuff come to light, because that's all it is. Like a gentleman told me, it's hate. It'll never be anything more than hate. It'll never be anything less than hate. They can put on Docksiders and pressed khakis and grow their hair out. They're still skinheads. They're still racists. They're still the same 1488 racist, white supremacist agenda. And from what I understand, Alex Jones, he received a default judgment, which is to say the court gave him several times to put forward evidence to cooperate in the legal case, and he wouldn't do so. And so now it's going to a jury or something like that to decide on what the award will be to the families. I hope he loses his shirt. I'll be honest, I'm on the left. And when it comes to censorship, when it comes to things of that nature, I certainly don't applaud them. You know, even Donald Trump being put off of social media, that isn't something to celebrate. Just like Joe Biden being elected isn't something to celebrate. I think that that's actually bad, and I think that we shouldn't hope for these major corporations to somehow be a barrister. We shouldn't hope that they keep things even. We shouldn't. That, you know, they're gonna do their stuff too, and that's what we should be fighting against, is their control and their monopolies and things of that nature, and not neo-Nazis, neo-Confederates that really have little power. That their power really comes from violence. Their power comes from violence and the threat of violence, and that's really it. And I think that I think it's quite sad it had to come to that. I look at whether it be Alex Jones or Sidney Powell or Rudy Giuliani or any of those people, and them being censored, and them in the Giuliani case being disbarred, I believe, and them being sued, Alex Jones losing his lawsuit. I look at all this as a necessary evil, but not necessarily something to celebrate. They're being sued by huge businesses that have the money to just say, you know what, I'm gonna fucking just sue this guy, and I'm gonna put down $10 million to just make this guy go broke. And then okay, they succeed. Like, that's not, you know what I mean? Like, if I shoot a machine gun 100 bullets out, Bobby gonna hit my target. That isn't accuracy. And I think that, you believe in karma, if you believe in God's will, whatever you believe in, that's what this case with Alex Jones really was about. This was karma. This was God's will. This was the bill coming due. He's done a lot of mess. And he's hurt a lot of people. I understand one of the families had to move 9 times. 9 times because of death threats. And I think that, I think Alex Jones, like I said, he has behaved in a reckless manner. He has used his what's it called? He's used his power in a destructive way. And he's used his power in a way that was dangerous. I've talked on here about the power of content creators, the power of being able to influence people who may not be in their right mind, and the power to influence people who may act on your suggestions in a dangerous manner. And I think that I think it's important, man. I think it's important to remember all this. It's important to remember that in the totality of what's going on, that, Alex Jones he's losing what he got. It's almost like what he got was ill-gotten. That's my point I'm trying to make. He made a lot of attention off of the Sandy Hook thing, the kids and all that, and now he might lose it all. To me, that's almost, as I said, God's will. That you made that notoriety, you scared a lot of people, but then look at the trouble you're going through now. I have no sympathy for Alex Jones. I have no sympathy for his family. I have sympathy for the family of the kids that died. Thank you for listening.